Alright, despite my voice, being on the verge of giving out, I want to do one last quick part. Just because I feel kind of bad I haven't been doing as many parts as I normally do. Let's make some... Oh! Let's make a little bit more progress. Oh, we did every quest time. Okay, so the story should progress after this scene. So what I'm gonna do after this scene is whatever happens here, I'm going to, if they allow us, I'm gonna go back to the library and see if that guy that Uncle Miles was talking about is there. Because he did say to come back. It's Fran. Yo, what's going on here? Of course we remember Bigson. Did something happen to him? Oh no. Oh, okay, so it's outside of town. Unusual? What does that even mean? Nice. Looks like we still got some work to do. Let's go. Get to drive the whip. See you, friend.
フランからみたいですね。マインツ方面で何かあったみたいだけど。
ああ、急鉱山というところで妙なことが起きたらしい。市内の支援要請も片付けたし、準備ができたら行ってみよう。山道方面は晴れているそうだから、車で行ってもいいかもしれないな。了解、リーダー。
もし車で鉱山町に行くなら、支援課の裏口に行きましょう。
You know she's hyped up to be able to drive again. A new wanted monster support request has been added to the detective notebook in the SSS terminal. Alright, before we do anything else, I would assume let's go in here. Oh, what? Wait, where's Uncle Miles? If you're looking for the director, he's lost in conversation with Mr. Nielsen. I'm sure he'll realize his break is already over one of these days. Damn. Where are they? Oh my. So this is the guy I saw in the CNS, right? The Crossbow News Service. Nielsen. I'm trying to... Guys, I can't be crazy. Where have we heard this before? I see. That's certainly an interesting way to put it. He's blind, right? Doesn't he have a walking stick with him to his side? He's blind. Nielsen. I'm trying to dig deep for this one because I know for a fact that we know who this is. We don't know a lot about him, but I'm pretty sure we know who it is. I'm trying to think which game did we see him in. I think we might have seen... Wait! Oh, wait, whoa. Wait, no, are they the same person? I think he was also blind. Was he blind? You guys remember... Wait, this gotta be the same person. You guys remember back in the third? Trails the third on the ship, the Lusitania. Lusitania? I still don't know how to say it. When we were Kevin, I think we spoke to someone named Nielsen and they were blind because I think they were talking about the sound. They were talking about some sort of sound that they heard or like. I don't know. Am I crazy? I might be wrong. Oh, hello, Lloyd, my boy. Your timing couldn't be better. This is Nielsen, the man I told you about earlier. So you're the international journalist then. Nice to meet you. I'm Lloyd Bannings of the CPD Special Support Section. But this is the SSS. And if you're Lloyd, that would make you its leader, right? You have a very clean, crisp voice, if you don't mind me saying. Oh, pardon my asking, but would you happen to be blind? That's correct. I lost my vision in an accident many years ago. There you are, Director. Your break has been over for ages. The front desk misses you, you know. Whoopsie daisy. It seems I got a bit too wrapped up in our conversation. You'll have to excuse me. Duty calls, as they say. Of course. Why don't we catch up and exchange notes again sometime soon? Sure thing. Drop by whenever you like. Looks like you're up, Lloyd. Take care. Up for what? Oh, sure. Yeah, is this the same guy? What did he mean by... Please allow me to introduce myself again. I'm Nielsen, a freelance journalist. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Same here. Nice to meet you. Nielsen, where have I heard that name before? Truth be told, I've been greatly looking forward to meeting with the Special Support Section. It's an honor. I'll be frank, I'd like to submit a support request of sorts. Would you be willing to hear me out? A support request from him? Sure, how can we help? The thing is, I'm currently conducting an investigation into the cult incident from this past spring. However, there are still several elements of the case that remain unclear to me. So, whom better to consult than the team that played a pivotal role in resolving that very crisis? You want to interview us about the cult incident? It sounds like you already know a thing or two about it. What should we do, Lloyd? Given the sensitive nature of this topic, we have to be very careful about what we reveal. You're right. But on the other hand, going through with this interview might help refresh our minds on what actually happened. What? Let's cooperate with Nelson. Well, if you insist, alright, we'll agree to an interview. However, say no more. I know there are things that one in your position shouldn't reveal. You are free to decline as many questions as you wish. I also think it would be best to consider anything we discussed today as strictly off the record. Got it. Thanks for understanding. One thing though, where should we hold it? I think doing it here could pose a problem. In that case, how about the seating area upstairs? It's relatively secluded and we'll know if anyone is nearby. I think it's the perfect spot. Sounds like a good idea to me. Let's head on over. Quest, Inside Scoop, the Cole Incident. I really think that this is the same guy. But I feel like he wasn't wearing this. I actually think he was dressed like the guy that's downstairs. You know, the guy that's always talking about his exams? Thank you for agreeing to this interview. First, let us begin by laying out the context behind the incident. It began with the DG cult, whose creed called for rejecting Adios in favor of worshiping devils. Over 10 years ago, they committed a series of child abductions all over the continent. I would like to review the manner in which those kidnappings were resolved 6 years ago. At that time, a large-scale operation was conducted to expose and exterminate the cult's lodges across the continent. Can you tell me the forces responsible for carrying out that operation? Yes, it was. Who were the groups that conducted the DG cult suppression operation 6 years ago? The national militaries and police forces? The Bracer Guild branches across the Moria? Or all of the above? It's 3. All of the above. A joint effort between multiple national militaries, police forces, and Bracer Guild branches, right? Correct. Due to the scale of the abductions, an international task force was assembled to carry out the investigation. Precisely. And leading that task force as its commander was Cassius Bright of the Bracer Guild, who... May I interrupt for a moment? When you say Cassius Bright, you mean the Brigadier General Bright, commander of Royal Liberian Army? I can never say that. Precisely. He retired from active duty and spent around 10 years as a bracer. He only rejoined the army 2 years ago. That's quite the career trajectory. Maybe so, but there's something else that caught my attention. The name Bright, I didn't consider it until now, but could there be any relation? Yeah, I confirmed it while reviewing documents during my training with the 1st Division. Cassius Bright is Estelle Bright's father, and Joshua is his adopted son. I knew it. That's some coincidence. I thought there was something special about her during our little foot race. Little did I know she was born to fame. So, you knew the daughter of Brigadier General Bright, do you? I'm well acquainted with her exploits through my work, but personally not so much. It's kind of a long story, but we got to know her a little bit earlier this year. That's neither here nor there though. My apologies for getting us off topic. Please continue. Very well then. 6 years ago, the suppression operation was carried out under the command of Cassius Bright of the Bracer Guild. That operation was believed to have wiped out as much as 90% of the cult's influence. Among the participants was a certain promising squad from the Crossbell Police Department led by one tzÄLove. The name tzÄLove, who serves as section chief of the SSS today, he and his two subordinates carried the flag of the CPD for that operation. Said subordinates would be none other than Arios McLean and Guy Bannings, the older brother of Lloyd Bannings. Looks like you've done your homework. You even know the connection between me and Guy. Even among the police, there are only a select few who have this much information. When you've done this for as long as I have, you develop a reliable network of sources. Guy Bannings himself used to be one of them, in fact. He was? Yes, Guy lent me his aid time and time again prior to his passing. But I digress. There was also another Crossbellan who played a role in the cult investigation. That would be Ian Grimwood, a lawyer and civilian advisor. Even then, Mr. Grimwood was well known and respected for his expertise on civil rights. I'm told he even contributed to gathering intelligence on the abductees. I do recall him telling us about how he assisted with the investigation, so that's the role he played. I've also come that both the church and the mysterious organization made convert interventions down the line. Because of them, whatever influence the cult retained after the suppression quickly vanished. The church. Is that what Father Kevin was referring to back at Altair Lodge? And the Mysteries organization is likely the society we learned about. Both of them sure like to remain on the sly, don't they? Nevertheless, the cult's activity should have concluded years ago. And yet, several months ago, it became evident that the remnants of the cult were still alive and well. I know you're all too aware of who I'm referring to. Of course, Joachim Gunter, one of the surviving members, finally crawled out of the woodwork. Precisely. He clearly had knowledge of the cult's inner workings well before the incident. In the end, however, did Joachim Gunter serve as their leader? What was Joachim Gunter's role in the DG cult? He was the leader? He was a high priest? He was a simple cultist? He was a high priest? No, he wasn't. He was a high priest within the cult. That's right, he said as much himself. Yeah, but he also seemed to have a knack for research. It sounded like he supervised a bunch of experiments. I think that's what led to his familiarity with the cult's inner workings. A reasonable theory. It was that position which allowed him to advance his research through his rituals they conducted through the continent. And after he successfully evaded the suppression operation 6 years ago, he went into hiding. Upon learning of former Speaker Hartman's weakness for a facility called Paradise, he was able to take refuge in Crossbell. Finally, he perfected a drug bearing the name for true wisdom, Gnosis. I'm unclear the specifics, but my understanding is that he produced it to fulfill the cult's ambitions. That's right, the cult's ambitions. He said their goal was to make Kia into the true god. Yeah, he also claimed he could perceive things while under the influence of the red gnosis. But in the end, we didn't get an opportunity to question him for all the details. As always, there are unanswered questions. But I do believe we'd outlined most of the particulars behind the incident. So now, I'd like to finish by reflecting on the DG cult's origins. Would that be alright with you? The cult's origins? Yes, would you happen to know how long the cult dates back? Like 500 years ago, my friend. How many years ago is the DG cult thought to have originated? Over 1200 years ago, over 500 years ago, over 50 years ago. The cult traces back over 500 years ago to Crossbell's Middle Ages. And what makes you say that? We heard it from tzಃLove himself. He told us that the powerful alchemists used to roam this land 500 years ago. According to him, the cult had been making use of their technology ever since. Though of course, anything about their history prior to that is pretty unclear. I see. To think Joachim Gunter would willingly reveal so much. Yes, alchemists once lived in these lands. The very same ones who built Stargazer's tower. It's amazing to think their knowledge, which before was merely legend, will be corroborated in such a sinister way. It's certainly surprising. Yes, and on that note, do you suppose this means that the little girl all of you took in is also over 500 years old? Just how much do you know about that incident? My apologies. That remark was uncouth of me. It was merely a ludicrous notion that I arrived at by combining our respective pools of information. I swear by the goddess that I wouldn't print such a thing, so please, be at ease. Right. And with that, I believe our interview has come to an end. Thank you very much for your cooperation today. This whole experience was very enlightening indeed. Not at all. It was helpful for us as well. Yeah, I believe it's time for me to be heading to my next appointment. If you'll excuse me then, perhaps we can do this again in the future should the opportunity arise. Just who the hell are you? Who are you? I knew there was something way too unique about this guy. For a blind man, he sure walks with a spring in his step. There's really something about him, isn't there? Yeah, he's full of surprises in more ways than one. But he did give us word about Kia, so let's hope we can trust him. Right. Ah! What's up, Ellie? It finally hit me why his name sounded familiar. That man just now was Marcel Nelson. He's a cross-belling journalist who won the Pulitzer Prize about 10 years ago. Wow! Bro won the Pulitzer Prize, huh? Wow, even I've heard of the Pulitzer Prize. Yeah, it's an international award given to the most outstanding journalists each year. That explains how he was so insightful. Wait, if he's from Crosswell, does that mean... Yes, he once worked as a correspondent for the Crosswell News Service. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for his coverage of the war, the very same one that robbed him of his vision. Damn! That is so crazy! That is tragic as hell. Since then, he's continued covering news all over the continent as a freelancer for several publications. Mr. Nielsen is distinguished among even the best journalists. He's that talented. Really now, who would have guessed we were being interviewed by a celebrity? Marcel Nielsen. We should speak with him again sometime, if we get the chance. Quest, inside scoop, the cult incident completed. Damn, yo, that was a crazy one right there. But I think with that being said, I'm going to end off this part here and get ready to start uploading because it's actually extremely early. It's like 6. I don't want to get this up for you guys and my voice is kind of giving out. So I'm probably going to take a break the next day or so. I will see you in our next session, and take care.